All right. Happy moment to you. So this is class number 3. It's kind of fun to do them in order. They kind of build on each other. So this one is a guided meditation. So if you've never had done a guided meditation before, um, it's not hypnosis. A lot of times people think that a guided meditation is kind of like hypnosis. Hypnosis again. I'm going to learn how to talk. The idea is that the person guiding you is kind of taking you on a journey, and you're just allowing your mind to go on that journey and see what happens. So when I first started doing as a participant guided meditations 40 years ago, literally, well, 38, I guess, literally, um, my mind, because of my trauma, we learned in video number 1 that I had a psychotic break when I was young. So my brain chemistry is a little wonky still because of that. So in a guided meditation, eventually someone will say, find the tree or look for the river. And I close my eyes and I don't see a tree. My sweet daddy's been dead for 40 years and I can't close my eyes and see him. People usually can see in their mind's eye things. I don't have that ability. And my brain chemistry, I guess I shouldn't affirm that. If I wanted to spend enough time shifting that, I'm certain I could, but I've learned to do it this way because a teacher then, all those years ago, because I got frustrated, said, I'm not doing guided meditation anymore. I don't see the tree. We're out. She said, well, you know what a tree feels like, Leslie. You know the feeling when you look at a tree or when you touch a tree or, hug a tree. Science tells us to do that now. You know that feeling, don't you? I said, yeah, love that feeling. So feel the tree when you hear them say, see the tree, Leslie. You feel the tree. Okay, I can do that. I can do guided meditation. And then the other kind of tip I got along the way when I became a person that led the guided meditation, I learned early on when I would do a group of people and someone would say, well, you said, find the tree in the forest, and I was in the parking lot at Target. And I kept looking for that tree in the forest, but I couldn't find it because I was in the parking lot and it was so frustrating. I wanted to find it. What I learned is that if I say, look for the tree in the forest, and you're in the parking lot at Target, stay there. That's where you're supposed to be. Just the guided meditation process itself, it opens up energy. And if you see kind of some sort of billowing smoke, don't be alarmed. I'm burning incense, sort of to remind myself the journey has its own journey, right? And so wherever you find yourself, stay there and see what happens. Don't look for what I'm talking about. If you clearly see yourself in a different spot, stay there. Do that. And even if you don't find the tree, just sort of allow yourself to breathe. So breathing is an interesting thing. If you put your hand right above your belly button, we're going to see if I do learn how to speak at the end of all this. That is your diaphragm. So the idea of a deep breath, many times we breathe from our shoulders or our chest, and we never get that deep breath from our diaphragm. So take a couple of practice breaths. If you're really deeply breathing from your diaphragm, and you're not used to that because your belly should push out. I can remember when I first started learning to do this, I'd actually get dizzy because I wasn't used to really getting a full breath. My body was like, oh, that's what that feels like to really have oxygen oxygenating through your going through your whole body. Wow, that's a bit of a high. So take a few practice breaths with your hand right above your belly button. Another thing, when you're doing any kind of meditation, you always want your feet to be flat on the ground, nothing crossed. It's always fun to have your hands palms up on your knees or legs if that's comfortable. It's a receiving energetic position. It's kind of fun. If that's not comfortable, don't do that. Just put your palms down, but just make sure your arms aren't crossed. Nothing's crossed. Everything's aligned in your breath, right? And so when we begin, I'm gonna just prompt you to take 2 or 3 deep breaths. And now, really, when you think about it, we take journeys in our minds all the time. We can reflect back on an event that happened, and we take that journey back in time, back to what we said, or they said, or didn't say. If we have something we're looking forward to, a vacation, or something we're putting in our worry about in our God box, something that we're anxious about, we can go and travel in the future in our minds all the time. So this is just what that is. It's just a journey that we're going on in our minds. Nothing more, nothing less. But it's going to work towards helping us create this consistent daily practice. So I'm going to put my glasses on my head so you don't have to see that glaring reflection. Because you want to have your eyes closed, but if you should open your eyes, then you'll see, hopefully, not the glare. So again, we want to just start by taking deep breaths in. Look at me. Yet again, I have failed to tell you an important piece of the process. So you want to have something to write with and something to write on. And when you're going into any kind of meditation, I always like it, and my spiritual teacher told me this again years and years ago, just have a little journal book, because you often will have a thought during meditation. You think, oh, I really want to remember that. That was pretty interesting. I think that'd be helpful. And instead of trying to hold on to it during the meditation, just have a little book, a piece of paper by you, jot it down, and then let it go. Let that go. So pause the video. Pause. It's magic. Go get a piece of paper, pen and pencil, and bring back and put that by you somewhere so that you can just access it wherever you are without having to get up. We'll use that later. All right, here we go. Glasses on head again. I think all the instructions have been given. Palms up if that's comfortable. Palms down if it's not. Nothing's crossed. We're going to just focus on our breathing. Your stomach pushes out as that diaphragm, that deep breathing. 2 or 3 breaths. And as you just open up your mind to taking a journey and reminding yourself, we all do this all the time in our minds. And as you're breathing, you're opening to this experience, suddenly you, in your mind's eye, open your eyes. Your physical body, your eyes are staying closed. But in this journey, you're opening your eyes. And you're looking around and you notice you're in a large field that has that tall grass that sort of moves with the wind. It looks like ocean waves as the wind is going back and forth. The tall grass is moving in concert with the wind. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. You find yourself smiling because you're like, my gosh, this is a gorgeous field, and the sun is high in the sky. You can feel the sun's warmth on your face, on your shoulders. You know, we're often in the sun, and do we really feel it? But this time, somehow, you're really feeling the sun. The warmth, the natural warmth. You're smelling those smells, the outside nature. Oh my goodness, they're so enlivening. They seem to bring out an inner peace, inner sense of joy. Again, the grass is moving, the wind, the sun, we're feeling it. And as we're smiling and taking it in, we notice that there's a forest actually surrounding the field. There's trees, dense trees all the way around. And as you're looking and sort of admiring the forest, as you look to your right, you see what you think must be an opening in the forest. It draws your attention to it. You're curious. You're curious. As you start walking towards what you believe to be an opening, you get this sense of, I'm starting a journey. There's something important going on here. There's something meaningful happening here. There's something that I'm being drawn to, this opening in this forest. And as you get closer, you notice, oh my, it is an opening. For sure, it's an opening. The trees are further apart. You can see clearly into the forest. There's a path. And you're feeling this sense of anticipation of good and safe. You feel safe. You feel, yeah, excited to enter the forest. There's sort of this anticipatory excitement. And so you step into the forest. Now, when you step into the forest, well, the sun, trees kind of cut that out. It's a little cooler. You're hearing the leaves of the trees now and the crunching of the leaves under your feet. And you're walking on this path again. The path is very obvious, it's very safe. And again, there's this excitement, this anticipation, this knowing that something really special is waiting for you as you take this journey, walk this path. You continue to walk and you hear the birds. Oh my goodness. What beautiful sounds the birds make, encouraging us, bringing a deeper knowing. There's something really special happening, something just for me. And so as you're walking, you're looking ahead and you see, oh, it looks like there's another opening. So you kind of a little bit faster in your walk, you're interested in what's going on ahead. And as you approach that opening, yes, certainly it is an opening, and it goes out into another field. Now this field is smaller. The grass is cut low to the ground. In this field, there's a river sort of going through the field, cutting through the field, and in the middle there's this pond, this large pond, and on one side of the pond there's these rocks that are kind of living stacked one on top of the other. And the water's making that sound, water falling over rocks makes. It's a beautifully inviting sound. It pulls you over to the pond and you're like, oh man, I really want to put my feet in that water. So you sit down and you take off one shoe, take off the other shoe. Again, this anticipation, this joyful looking forward to something that's happening specifically for you. You take off the other shoe, then you take off a sock if you have socks on. You take off the other sock. You stand up and you sort of go towards the end of the pond and you put your foot in the pond. Oh, it's cold. The water's cold, but it's so inviting. You just put your foot down into the cold water. It feels so refreshing. Put your other foot in. Take that deep breath again, that smell of the outdoors, the beauty of the outdoors. You're looking around in the field and you notice this rock that's very smooth. It's about 2 or 3 feet off the ground, right at this height that you could sit on it. And it's smooth and it's long and it's very inviting. Again, it seems familiar in a way. So you go over and you sit down and it feels familiar as you're sitting. You think, I've not really been here, but I certainly feel like I have. And as you're breathing, just taking it all in, you notice out of the corner of your eye, when you look over to the right, there's still that forest surrounding this smaller field, but now you see something sort of rustling in the trees, and then you notice it's someone coming through the trees. Again, the feeling is joyful or excitement or knowing that this is important. There's nothing creating anxiety. It's safe. And as you kind of jump down from that rock chair and you're looking towards who's coming at you, you realize the person coming towards you is the person who loves you most in the world. Now, this person could be alive. This person could already have died and been on the other side of the veil, yet here they come, walking towards you. You run to them. You grab them. You can't believe there they are in this field with you. They hug you. They kiss you on the cheek. They say, oh, I am so glad to see you. And you say, I am so glad to see you. And they take you by the hand and they lead you back to that beautiful, natural, smooth rock. The two of you sit together. This person who loves you more than anyone else, who's always loved you, who's been that person who you know, regardless of what you do, their love was steady for you. So as you're looking at them and you're smiling and you're feeling so loved, they look and they say, baby, I've been waiting a long time for you to come. I've got so much to tell you. Now, Leslie, I'm going to fall silent. The person who loves you most in the world, they're going to talk to you. You just listen. Nothing to do. Just listen. Suddenly you kind of look up and you realize, oh my goodness, time has passed. The sun is just barely above the treetops. You look at them and you go, oh, thank you so much for telling me all that you told me. They look at you and they say, baby, I am so glad you came. It's time for me to go back, though. And as they step off the rock, you say, no, 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 you step down off that rock. And you're like, no, 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 don't go, don't go. And they take your hand, look you in the eye. And they say, sweet one, I am always here. This space, this rock, this little pond with that cold water, and I live within you. You come anytime, sit on this rock, and I will appear. We will talk, and I will remind you how loved you are, how precious you are, how perfect you are. But now I must go. They give you the biggest hug, kiss you on the cheek. One more time. They say, I love you so much. You're so precious. They turn, and you walk. Watch as they walk away. And you walk as they continue toward the forest. They get to the trees, and they disappear. You take a deep breath in, and you're like, I feel different. I feel something really meaningful has happened here. And as you look up, you realize, boy, that sun is going down. It's still perfectly light, perfectly safe. But it is time for even you to return. So you look around and you see your shoes and your socks over on the grass. You walk over, you sit down, you put one sock on, take that breath of the fresh air, next sock on. You stand up, one shoe on, the second shoe on. And now you look over to the left and you see your own path, your own way back through your forest. You turn one last time to look at this view. And then you start walking towards the open between the trees, back onto the path. As you step into the forest, this time the wind has stopped, so there's no leaves rustling. The birds have fallen silent, almost like Mother Nature herself is honoring your journey. It's completely opened the path, and again, there's plenty of light to see your way back through the forest. And you're just taking in the silence, taking in the experience of what just happened. And as you're walking, you look ahead and you see that opening back to that larger field. And you get closer and closer. And then when you step back out onto that larger field, again, the wind has stopped. So now that grass is standing alert, tall. Again, Mother Nature herself is honoring what's just happened. And now it's that sort of time of day when the sun is going down and the light that lingers after the sun goes down is a magical time in itself. It's a moment between light and dark. You take one last breath and you realize, I have had something really special occur. I'm going to take that with me. And now you're going to go back to your breathing, sitting where you're sitting in here and now in space and time as it exists for you. When you're ready, you're going to open those eyes. You're going to be aware of the surroundings of what you see. You're going to pause this video and you're going to pick that paper and that pen up and you're going to write what that person who loves you most in the world said to you. So pause the video, write that down, and then come back. So now you are back. My glasses are on and the glare is back. So now what you've written is sort of a message from your inner sense of love, inner sense of spirit. Listen to this. A friend of mine sent me a Hindu woman that was talking, and she talked about spirit, God, associating with our body. I love that language. I always know I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. I use the technology, my human technology. I use the statement, my human's experiencing this, but my spirit, my truth, I am an observer. I know that my higher self is really the truth of me. But I've always sort of packaged it all in the same sort of thing. But she said associated, the spirit associated with the human body. So I like that. But however you want to language it, this sort of guided meditation took you to that space that is, I think, within or associated. Now I'm going to be curious about that language, but that is right here, always. The part that knows your value, knows the truth that you are pure love. You are pure light. And everything that conversation that happened, everything that was said to you is truth about you. Now, if you had a situation where you were in the parking lot at Target and you think, wow, I didn't have any of that. I didn't see that. I saw something else entirely. I have done these guided meditations for years, thousands of people now, if you count the people in the jail. Well, yeah, thousands. So, I'm pretty confident that I could walk you through whatever your experience was and help you get to understanding what spirit was communicating to you, because I promise you it was not a mistake. Even if it feels initially bad or scary or unsettling, and I am open to that, and you can message me or however. My way to get a hold of me is pretty easy on the internet. And I'll be glad to walk you through that process to seeing what that message was for you individually. But if you had kind of the traditional journey and it went and you got a message and you're writing that down, then the homework, remember, classes have homework. The homework becomes to read whatever was written, as long as it's a very positive thing. If you didn't come away with something really positive out of it, again, message me. Y'all are smart enough to find a way to get a message me, Facebook, I don't know the language, direct message, whatever that's called. But anyway, I'll talk you through it. But we want you to get a positive thing written on that piece of paper about how loved you are, how precious you are. That positive writing, the homework becomes right before you go to sleep at night, you read that message, that piece of paper 3 times, all the way through. So you're about to go to sleep, you've turned off all your devices, about to go to sleep, you read it 3 times. Then I don't know, the dog barks or the cat something, and you look at your phone and you decide, oh, I'm going to look at one more video or something. I don't know. You have to read it again before you go to sleep, right before you go to sleep. So if something disrupts you and you don't go right to sleep right after you read it again 3 times. And then you place it somewhere. So right in the morning, immediately in the morning when you wake up, before you go to the bathroom, unless you're old and have to like I do usually. But immediately in the morning, you're going to read that 3 more times. So there's something sort of mystical and magical about right as you go to sleep and right when we wake up, sort of the thinnest part of the veil. Believe it or don't believe it, it doesn't matter really. Just go with it, right? And something magical and mystical. Read that 3 times. You want to be imprinting. So this tool is about imprinting. We've had so much imprinting of the trauma message and the unconscious loops that we talked about in the first video that tell us the not the best things and gives us the false beliefs and reinforce the things about us that aren't true. We've got to spend much time, persistent, consistent energy and time saying the truth. And that's what this person who loves you most in the world has told you. The truth. So 3 times right before you sleep, 3 times right when you wake up. I mean, do that for a month, at least a week. It'd be lovely to do it for 30 days. Love you.